Oh, I didn't see you there. All right, so we have our Mark 8 Golf R on the dyno. This car right now is stage 1 plus, so that's intercooler upgrade, running on pump 93, and that's Shell 93 because we're located in Canada, Vancouver, Lower Mainland area. We have Shell 93, which for the past, I don't know, year, coming on 2 years, has been the best fuel that we can get locally. But there has been a rumour for the past 6 months, I think now, that Chevron is changing their formula for the 94 that they sell. Now, the rumour was that they're adding ethanol, and that kind of like correlates to the mandate that come out from the government that all fuels must contain a minimum of 5% ethanol. So today we're going to test Shell 93 versus Chevron 94. And then we have some US Shell 92 as well. We're going to throw that in and see what kind of results, and can show the data and see if there's any power differences between these three fuels. Right now the car has Shell 93 in it from local station. We'll do a baseline run, or 3 runs, and we'll average the numbers out. And then we'll drain the tank, pour in Chevron, run it through a little bit, so there's not any excess other fuel in there, and then do 3 runs, get the average, and so forth, and do the same for the US 92. So yeah, let's get to it. Quite a lot of power. That's pretty good. Logs, run 1. All right. So 4,500 on run 1. Doesn't really show up, but pulling 4 degrees in cylinder 3, or 4, sorry. And then 3, 2, 2, carries that out for a while. 1. A few others start picking up. It's worth mentioning that anything up to about 3 degrees is like acceptable for these cars of timing pull. They ride the knock sensors constantly, so 3 degrees is nothing to worry about. Obviously 0's the best you could get, but and so if we have a look at run 2, because obviously the car will adapt, so we upload that. Okay, so run 2 looks a little cleaner. All showing -1 degrees of timing. It's just likely noise. Okay, so cylinder 4, 3 degrees again. Cylinder 2, picking up 3 degrees. Cylinder 1, 4. Okay, so run 2 looked the cleanest, and that's the green line on the graph, and it doesn't have that dip. So yeah, we're draining the tank. I'll run it a little bit in steady state, just try and get any excess shell out, so the comparison is fair as it could be. Ready? Did you hear that? The log didn't look good. I'm sure my face kind of looked a little bit scared. So we drained the fuel. The car had a little bit of a chance to cool down. Chevron 94 in, same file. It's down 16 horsepower from Shell 93. So we'll do a couple of more runs. I don't know if we'll do a full 3 because I'm not really comfortable running that. I'm curious to see if this picked up on my camera, because that was not nice. Run 2. Hear it. Oh my God. Jeez. I'm not doing 3 runs. I think that's point proven. Like the car audibly sounds off.
Oh, it sounds like shit.
Like off the limiter, like the burble that it makes.
The graph's gotten significant.
Okay, so that's now 33. So like, so this is run 1 of Shell 93, and the blue line, like these lines here, like the blue line, this like reddy purple line, and then like the lilac line, that's timing pull. It's pretty minimal. Some. We'll bring up the first run of Chevron. Hello. Like 3,500 starts knocking. We didn't even see anything on Shell until 45, so it's 1,000 RPM difference to begin with. So that sets the car up for like failure from the beginning, basically. So yeah, 3.5, 3 degrees. Cylinders 2. Kind of settles down a little bit. 4 degrees, cylinder 2 again. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 5, cylinder 1. 4.5, cylinder 1. 4.5, cylinder 3. 6 degrees in 1. 5 degrees and 3. Like it's just generally pretty bad everywhere. 6 degrees again. And then the big event that we heard was like 9.
Wow.
That's not even quite redline, so that's where that big dip is, and that's what I heard and what J-Man heard, and he has headphones on. Okay, let's look at round 2. So it's not as bad. Carrying on, still like 5 degrees, 6 degrees across 3, 5, 4, 7, 7, 6. Yeah, it's just. What's interesting is the short-term fuel correction for this. On Shell, on the first run, it's 0. That's obviously what we aim for. Here it's correcting a lot. It's like -4, -5.
Oh yeah, it's like -5 the whole way. -6.
Yeah, so curious why. Interesting. Maybe there isn't as much ethanol in there. Yeah, maybe. Okay, well, I'm not running that again. It's too much knock. Stop. Oh, look at that. That's like nothing, zero. But that's consistent with like the old Chevron, which is no ethanol and didn't perform very well. And consistent with the results we've seen from a year ago when we switched from using Chevron to Shell. We had an RS3 on a dyno and it picked up 20, 30 horsepower. It was like 25 or something. Less than our Shell. There might be some Chevron 94 still left in the injectors, so. We'll do a couple of runs. Okay, so Shell 92 from the US. Still a little bit of residual Chevron 94 in there, as we saw some timing pull and the dyno graph be quite low on the first run. Still quite a lot of correction. And we'll just rush through this. Ooh, 7 degrees. Yeah. So still just getting rid of whatever was left residual in the tank. So that was run 1. Much less correction. Power picked up again. Back to kind of where we were with our Shell gas that we have. So maximum 4 degrees. 4, 3, 4, 4. 5, 6, around 6,300, which, looking at the dyno graph, kind of where that dip is, which makes sense. Short-term correction is now back close to 0, so there's something definitely up with that Chevron gas. I don't know what that is. Run 3, it got consistent, power's back up back to where the baseline was. Oh look, there's hardly any corrections. All 4 cylinders here pulling like a degree. It's just noise. If it was actual knock, it would, like you know, see 1 cylinder change. So cylinder 1, 3 degrees, 2 degrees, 3 degrees. Really pretty good. Yeah, like maximum of 3 degrees. Honestly, very similar, and the power graph kind of shows the same. And I'll clean up the graphs. We'll do the best runs from each fuel, so it's easier to look at here. Okay, so we finished all 3 fuel tests. So if you come around and look at the graph. So I have to break this down a little bit. So this dotted green line here, like this is horsepower, this is torque. The dotted green line here, that's our Shell 93, which is local to us, like in the lower mainland. Performed pretty good, as expected. And then we put in Chevron 94, which is supposedly had a fuel like chemical change, like it's meant to be have ethanol in it now, but we just found out it doesn't. So it could be an old tank of gas that hasn't been cycled through yet, and they've not had a re-up of the new formula. So we'll give it the benefit of the doubt, but this just illustrates that even though this is 94 octane, it doesn't perform as good as Shell 93, which is what we've been saying for a while and other people locally have been saying. So yeah, so this is the Chevron line here, this dashed green line, and torque. So if we do from Shell 93 local from us to peak Chevron, so we can do that. So we lost 33 horsepower from that fuel because of the amount of timing pull that the car was seeing. And then we put in US 92, and the first run there was still obviously a little bit of residual Chevron in there, so it didn't perform. It performed similar. And then we did the second run, and then things started improving. So, and this is the third run, which was the best run, that was pretty much cycled through all of the Chevron that was in the tank. And it's very similar to our Shell, which is good because there's always been that myth or rumor that the US gas is better than ours. And I think now it's pretty safe to say they're pretty much on par. So yeah, I mean, people can call this make-believe or BS or whatever, but not all octane or all fuel is the same. And you know, when you're running a tuned car and you're making X amount more power than stock, you really should be data logging to see what's happening with your engine. It's very important. That's all I've got, really.
And Sarah.
I'm not finished.
So we're going to another Chevron station because it didn't seem right, the results, based on the information or the rumors that we've heard about the fuel change, and we tested it and there was 0 ethanol. So decided to give a few stations a ring this morning and ask them, like, when did you get your last fuel delivery of 94? And yeah, we had a delivery 2 days ago of like Chevron 94. It's got E10 in it now. I was like, okay, cool, thanks. So I hung up, and here we are. So we'll get, I don't know, 15 litres this time. I'm not going to get a lot. $36 for 15.5 litres, bro. Ooh. Oh, that's it. Got a nice steady stream.
Can't really see it.
It's definitely different, so we can try it.
The people want to know.
It's definitely not as much as Shell so far. So, but. Ready? It's marginally better than yesterday.
But for all intents and purposes,
Not as good as Shell 93, local to us, or US Shell 92. Yeah, that last run was kind of ugly around the mid-range.
can you put the
So this is the torque graph, and that's horsepower this side. But yeah, so the orange run, or the orange line, is the third run. So first run's red, green is second, and orange is third. So the red one's obviously elevated because there's still probably a little bit of that Shell 92 in the system, and then as it cycles through, progressively just gets worse. I mean, we can see that they kind of like levels out to be the same on the second and third run in terms of peak power.
Yeah.
So this green line here, the dashed green one, is yesterday's Chevron. The orange one's obviously the third run from today.
And the tall green one is Shell?
That's Shell, yeah. Yeah, Shell still performs better. It's like 35 horsepower difference. And if we want to cherry pick some numbers, how many foot-pounds of torque is that? Oof, 45. In the mid-range. That's, you know, like right around where you're kind of driving. If we do it from where it had a big knock event, it's like 24. Yeah, I mean, I still give it the benefit of the doubt. It's so new that it's possible that this station also had a batch of old formula fuel, a batch of the old formula in their fuel tanks. Like the ethanol content reading was marginal, like maybe 2%, so which may equate to this little bit of increase. I don't know what to say, it's still a similar result. I would be data logging, especially if you're tuned, be data logging, you know, and making sure that the car is not pulling excessive time in.